Chapter 1. Welcome to High School. In the boys' locker room, a 5'9", 175-pound built blonde blue-eyed young man was sitting down in the boys' changing room. He had his back turned towards his teammates as they were all getting ready for practice. He was facing his own locker with a notepad in his hand, scribbling down something vigorously. "Hey yo Bradley," one of the boys called to him. "What you doing? Come on fam. The coach wants us out there ASAP." "Coming," the young man briefly yelled out in his slight Texan accent. "That's what she said," one of the boys quipped immaturely. They all chuckled as they were leaving. Bradley slowly and carefully read over what he wrote in his notepad. He then opened a plastic capsule container and popped a few pills in his mouth. Some mints to freshen his breath. "Oral health and care are essential to avoid tooth cavities and caries," Bradley muttered to himself. "Also got to keep those pearly whites shining through and through. Don't want to appear to the public as a mean mug and brute. Not to mention fresh breath attracts a potential soulmate." The super athlete then put his notebook in his locker. "Another day, another journal entry," Bradley continued as a smile spread across his face. He then grabbed his bag and headed out. In the center of Atlanta, Georgia, USA, Eagle High is a school well known for its extraordinary curriculum and favoritism of overachievers. It is an educational facility that relishes in having successful students hold the school banner throughout many generations. Eagle High is also known to be a progressive school that looks forward to the future on a frequent basis. School management is replaced in a whim. School presidents are easily nominated, and new students are always transferred from other regions within the school year. It is rumored that Eagle High is funded by several investors and partially by the government. It is debated to be considered a private school, despite the government having a hand in funding some of the major extracurricular activities. The school falls 10 meters away from the Georgian suburbs and is in isolation from the massive hustle and bustle of the city. Hallways decked with these platinum steel containers that are perceived ever so valuable, that whoever besides the owner touches or gets near them will get murdered. Literally. The school does have an exceptionally low rate of theft, so there might have been a murder over somebody stealing or mugging for all anybody knows. The numbers do not lie. It is these same hallways that public display of affection is apparent as any teenage flick. These same hallways that witness verbal and physical scuffles on an occasional basis. It is also these hallways that star quarterback Bradley Terrence walks upright with a smile on his face heading towards science class, an all-American team captain with 3 championships for the school. Bradley, what would you like to say to our viewers about the upcoming game?" The cheerful and quirky student reporter shoved her microphone in the blue-eyed, blonde quarterback face. As much as she just shoved that much information in one breath. Startled and almost tumbling back, the golden QB gives her an annoyed look, then shakes it off as he walks away. "Anywho, don't forget to buy your tickets for the big game against Eagle High's rival, Woodhead High. This is Dorothy Kenneth, school reporter and co-president of the student body, coming to you live from Eagle High, Atlanta, Georgia." The pint-sized, smiling brunette made the cut gesture to her cameraman. She then dropped her right arm that was clasping the microphone. The eager young lady then groaned so loud, as if she hated doing her job like any normal human being. "Oh, thank God that's over with," the petite girl complained. "I need my latte mousse. We need to regroup in the audio-visual room and get this coverage reported to the head of our committee. This school yearbook and documentary is going to be big with the higher-ups. Speaking of which, I need to run to the office and do the morning announcements with my cousin before he kills me." The small framed young lady then started to power walk towards her destination, which was only a few feet away. Sure thing, the giant, lanky, dark-skinned male with a head covered with dreads mumbled as he put down his advanced camcorder. Good morning, students, a soft and velvety voice emitted loudly through the school speakers. Everybody suddenly and simultaneously halted in their steps. Allow us to introduce ourselves. Then another voice interrupts. What's cracking, kiddos? It's your girl, Dorothy Kenneth, speaking to you live from the principal's office. That was quick, the previous voice chimed in. Anyways, Dorth, don't you mean you and your ever so awesome and popular cousin Damien Kenneth are the new co-presidents of this highly spirited school? The enthusiastic yet silky voice of Damien boomed with unrivaled arrogance. And the reason for such arrogance, considering being the most popular kid at Eagle High, is one of the main reasons for starters. Captain of the basketball team, and at 18 years of age, this 6'4", slim kid with a 160-pound frame is not to be overlooked. A polo-wearing, tan-squared, jawed, good-looking young man that sported a buzz cut was not only or the only one of the preps, but the ultimate prep. So Damien is well known for his cheerful attitude all the time, despite his narcissistic behavior knowing no bounds, but that's what you get when you are living the dream. My name is Damien Kenneth. Damien paused, and the sound of the flipping papers crackled through the speakers. Just so you should know, we wanted to welcome the students back from such a wonderful summer vacation. We would also like to inform the new students that there will be a school orientation session in the auditorium. This session will be hosted by yours truly. The purpose of this session is simply to educate you about the rich history our great school has. To give you a little preview of what this school is all about, allow me to let you in on a few things you should know about our school and the way things are run around here. The well-spoken preppy boy paused again, and the sound of the flipping papers crackled through the speakers. Damien cleared his throat before starting the history lesson. Eagle High, a school that soars high alongside the students that aims high. Built solid, the school exudes prestige and a legacy based on its forefathers that founded the school with pride. The exteriors of our facility have a bright texture since the bricks seem to be built and crafted by the most prestigious architects in the region. Its outer walls were painted with blue and white at some key areas, representing the school's out-of-town colors. This means when we play a visiting team, we rock these shades. The blue and gold dominate the outer and inner walls of these areas, such as the gymnasium, the auditorium, and the main hallways. These palettes represent our official home colors. This includes entrances, the school band room, and drama theater. Its windows are caved in by white-colored steel frames that are sturdy and built as the school's reputation and foundation. These colors have an underlying meaning. The blue represents the sky, which is the limit our students exceed. The gold is a representation of the richness this school holds within these valuable interiors. It is also a representation of the wealthy path that is paved for the forthcoming generations, to bear the wealth of the knowledge, obviously. He then went on to continue to put the school on a higher pedestal that it has ever been on, as it was necessary to blow more smoke up its rear with this mind-numbing and senseless exposition clearly read from a script. As for the rules, it's pretty simple. Just follow them. Any inappropriate behavior that will obstruct the atmosphere of the school will not be tolerated. We have a dress code that is to be expected and followed. A moral standard that is without a shadow of the doubt to be reached, and an academic bar to be set. To sum it up, just be the best you can. Even if you can't, please do. Trying is not sufficient, as it is an excuse for lazy people. Oh, and I personally recommend following a clique if you want to survive this school. Just my personal experience talking here. Another pause followed. After the smug statement, the crowd of students had a puzzled look on their face. It will be a pleasure to be an aspiring leader for you this year, Damien proceeded with the same smug tone. Alongside my dear cousin, we will make sure we will be able to meet your demands. For the students who enjoy the heat of the summer and are in need to chill, get ready to chill through the new school year. As school rules, if you keep your cool. Yeah. Like, oh my god, spoken like a true leader, an impressed Dorothy blurted out after tolerating her cousin's long-winded spiel. I mean, Damien, you are like so my role model. How do you get to be so awesome? Well, you know me, Dorthkins, replied the arrogant teenager. I just can't help it. Sometimes I dare say impress myself. Anyhow, welcome to Eagle High. Remember, you can only soar high if you walk with pride, Dorothy interrupts. The speaker goes off. Bradley is still glued at the sight of the speakers, which was ever so perfectly placed squarely on the center of the main hallway, just like the way his solid square jaw looked standing ever so perfectly on his neck. Bradley Terrence stood in his place and was thinking of what just occurred. Are these two shallow, narcissistic, lame preps going to seriously take care of the students' issues and concerns till the end of the school year? Bradley talked to himself. No wonder I don't hang out with these people. As a matter of fact, there's only one verbatim that grinds my gears besides the term meathead or jock, and it is conveniently bounced around heavily within the school premises, harder than a dodgeball launched at a bully teen who just finished his lunch at the library. Students and faculty use this terminology on a consistent and convenient basis, as if it was the literal representation of the school's brand, like literal representation of the school's brand. The word is what Damien just mentioned in his not so groundbreaking announcement. The word is click. I not only loathe the sound and cacophony of the word as if something was breaking, but the ideology behind the word. It is as if it crumbles one into a mold that conforms them to a certain image by breaking down whatever self-esteem remains in their psyche. It breaks an individual by corrupting and tainting their minds, erasing every sense of creativity and identity that exists within their vicinity of consciousness, rendering it useless, obsolete for applicability. Click is the reason why the school of brainwashed students had the word jock infused in their subconscious minds and be thrown around at me recklessly, as if being judgmental without getting to discover the true nature of a sensitive and good-willed Samaritan, as if it's some sort of trendy thing to do. Click is the word that resonates with whatever media this generation is following and captivates their process of thinking, debunking it to a primitive and simplistic way of processing information, let alone living. Click this, click that, why can't I just be? Dum, dum. The deafening classroom bell rings. Brad felt a bit annoyed. He had the masculine urge to start an epic angst-filled, stuttering, speech impediment-filled, and self-aware monologue rant among the drowning noise of the aloof students heading to their classes. Well, thanks to the underbites with all those stumbles, he really wanted to correct his mistakes on top of all of this. But in what sense?